Sometimes, the moment we finally stop expecting anything from this world is the moment Allah sends what we never imagined could still reach us. What if the rizq written for you is waiting just beyond your breaking point? There are moments in life when a person feels as if every door that once opened easily is now sealed shut. As if the world has quietly turned its back, leaving behind only the echoes of unanswered prayers. This story begins in one such season of quiet despair, a season in which a man named Haris found himself standing at the very edge of surrender. Haris lived in a small, sun-warmed village where the days were long, and people survived on little but gratitude and hope. Yet for months, hope had been slipping from his hands like dry sand. His work had stopped, debts had grown, and the weight on his chest felt heavier each morning. He tried, he searched, he knocked on doors, he pushed through exhaustion, but nothing changed. Every effort ended in disappointment, and every night ended with the same whispered plea, "Ya Allah, until when?" There were days when he could feel the judgment in people's eyes, and nights when he couldn't even bear to look at himself. The man who once gave freely was now struggling to protect his dignity while asking for help. But more painful than hunger, more painful than sleepless nights, was the silent fear that perhaps he was no longer seen, neither by people nor by the world nor by fate. But Allah's gaze never leaves a heart that calls upon him. And although Haris couldn't see it, the rizq written for him was already traveling toward him. Quietly, steadily, wrapped in a plan far greater than his own. Sometimes before Allah opens a door, he first brings a soul to the humility of complete dependence on him. And Haris was about to reach that point. The days that followed were quieter than usual. Haris would wake before sunrise, sit for a moment in the cool stillness of dawn, and let the early light spill into his small room. In that gentle half-light, a mix of silence, hope, and exhaustion, he often found himself lost in thought. There was something about the morning that reminded him that life, despite its hardships, always restarted. And yet, every restart fell harder than the last. Most of the village had grown familiar with his struggle. They spoke softly when he passed, not out of cruelty, but out of the uncomfortable awareness that they had nothing to offer him. Opportunities were rare, sustenance even rarer. The land had been stingy that year, the fields had dried early, and the small jobs that once floated around had become shadows of the past. Even the wealthier families were cautious with their spending. Still, Haris tried to move with dignity.